today. Jessica, what exactly are we going to learn from you?
We'll learn kind of, how you can really bring your support and e-commerce experiences together, why we invest in Shopify, and then, of course, we'll spend most of the time demoing so you can actually see all the capabilities that we just released this year.
And just to correct me if I'm wrong, you are a senior product marketing manager here at Zendesk, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And you primarily focus on Shopify?
Primarily focus on a lot of our strategic integrations where our customers really rely on us offering pre-built out-of-the-box solutions that.
Awesome. Well, obviously people didn't come here to hear me talk about myself. So I'm going to be quiet and let you take the wheel. But Jessica, let's learn about Shopify. Tell us what's new.
Let's do it. All right, I will pull up my screen and we can get going.
Also, one thing while Jessica, you pull up your screen, I want to let users know we do have the Q&A section of our chat now open. If you have a question on anything Jessica is covering, we really stress that you ask it there. It lets us identify that it's a question and not someone just being like, hey, what's up? Or that was cool. Also, after the event, we go ahead and take those questions and we go and republish them in the Help Center. And it's a really great way for us to easily identify the question and the answer that will come with that question post the event. So if you don't have a question, not a problem, but at any point during this presentation you want to ask something, the Q&A section is the place to do it.
Perfect. Awesome. Can you see my screen, Devin?
Yes, we can. Looks good.
Perfect. All right, let's get started. So we've had an integration with Shopify for a couple of years now, but recently in January, we released a completely new V2 version of our integration. And then we also released a few new features around March, April timeline of this year. So before we get started, very, very quick level setting on why it's so important that we bring your support and e-commerce experiences together. We've seen healthy growth in e-commerce and in online sales over the last 10 years, but this last year with the pandemic, we saw 10 years of growth in 3 months. And this explosion of online sales has definitely, accelerated and brought to light some challenges that maybe have always been there, but really a lot of our customers are facing today. The first one is, lack of sales support and disjointed post-sales experiences that are breaking that customer experience. Your agents, the second one, your agents not having the right insights at their fingertips when customers reach out. So they're spending their time jumping between, Zendesk and the various systems that you use to track down information, or they can't even find the information. And so they're asking customers to repeat back things that really they should already know. And those two things, that broken customer experience, that broken agent experience, is leading to churn and contraction. And so that's why we invest so heavily in our integration with e-commerce platforms, and particularly Shopify, which so many of our customers use and rely on. So with this integration, which requires no code, it's a really simple install, you can bring that e-commerce and support experience together. And so with our integration, you can meet your shoppers where they are by embedding support on your storefronts. You can give your agents actionable insights with that sidebar app that brings in Shopify details and lets your agents process common requests like refunds. And then you can also bring some of this information into your Zendesk analytics. So we will demo each of these, but just so everyone has a high-level understanding of the core features, I'll just quickly walk through them. So the first one, meeting your shoppers where they are. With the Shopify integration, you can, in just a few clicks, enable the web widget on any of your storefronts. So you can embed and manage that branded messaging experience. And then for your agents, that means all of the channels that you use, whether that's social, mobile, or web via the web widget, you can really unify that within the agent experience. Second, the sidebar app, really the core of what showcases all that information from Shopify for your agents. And what we released earlier this year was a completely refreshed UI that surfaces that, order information, billing information, shipping details. We also recently launched the ability to process full refunds, partial refunds, and cancellations, all from within the sidebar app in just a few clicks. And we'll demo this so you can see that I mean it when I say just a few clicks. And then another feature that we just released later in Q1 is the ability to not only surface that sidebar app when a phone number, when an email address is matched between a Zendesk user and Shopify, but we'll also surface that sidebar app when a phone number is the only identifier. So when a customer calls in and that's all we have, we only know their phone number, as long as that matches what's in Shopify, we'll bring in all their Shopify details for your agents.
Jessica?
Yeah.
Real quick, you do have a quick question from Colin. So Colin does not use the web widget on their website, but would they be able to use the web widget in the Shopify instance independently?
Yes, you would be able to, as long as you have the Shopify integration enabled, and you don't even need to be using the sidebar app. But as long as you have using the Shopify integration, once you authenticate into Shopify, you in Zendesk would just select a box to enable the web widget. But you can also use the web widget separate from this integration. So you kind of have the option. What's really nice about this experience is you literally just click enable web widget in the admin center, which I can show you. Colin, let me know if that answered your question.
Colin does not use the web widget on their website. Oh no, sorry, never mind. I was reading the wrong thing. Okay, perfect. We do have one more from Missy. Do the agents need to have access to Shopify back office, or will this information for orders prompt always?
It will always prompt. They don't need you don't need any Shopify licenses or access for your agents. The only time you would need that is when an admin is installing the integration. There'll be one moment where you just need to authenticate in to Shopify, but it really is just a pop-up. So you will need, the admin will need to have had access to Shopify just that one time, and then won't need access after that.
Perfect.
And then the last feature that we just released is when a refund or cancellation is applied via the sidebar app, we now automatically add a ticket within the custom field. Add a tag within the custom field of a ticket. And so what that means is you can report on this data. So you can detect trends like regions where there might be an influx of refund requests. Maybe there's an issue that you can fix. And the final feature, which is still in early access program. So this is not, everyone has access to this, but it's not part of our generally available feature yet. It will be GA later in Q3, is our out-of-the-box integration with Sunshine customer profiles and events. What this does is, and you'll see it live in the demo, but you can create a Shopify profile for the agent to have access to. You can stream Shopify events within the interactions history. And you can also start building a Zendesk user profile before that user is known in Zendesk, before that customer has interacted with support. So if you have the integration with Sunshine customer profiles enabled, then what that means is when action is happening, when events are happening in Shopify, we'll start collecting and storing those events in Zendesk, even if they've never interacted with Zendesk. And then once that user is known, once that customer's created a ticket, we have all of that information already stored.
And Jessica, is this EAP open to everybody, or is this by invite only?
Open to everybody. So I'll make sure, Devin, that everyone has a link to participate. And just for access requirements, the sidebar app is available on all Zendesk Suite plans, or for our legacy plan support teams and above. The Sunshine component, again, in EAP, everyone has access, but once we GA, It will also be available on all Zendesk Suite plans. But if you're on a legacy plan, it would require support enterprise. There are monthly limits for data usage across events that would apply by plan type.
And for anybody who is interested in that EAP, there is a link that I've included in the chat. You can follow that link. The first post in that community thread will take you to where you can register, and it has all the information you need about that EAP. And I did want to ask one quick question that we have from a user. They asked, can we expose a sidebar but not provide access to perform refunds or cancels?
Yes, great question. And I can show this when we demo in the admin center. So when you install the integration, there's a checkbox that your admin will have access to enable refunds and cancellations, or you leave it unchecked. So it's completely up to you if you want to enable that feature.
Perfect.
All right, it's demo time. Let me pull this up. Can you all see? Great. All right, so what we're all looking at here is the agent workspace. A customer, Amy, has reached out via the web widget on Shoelala's storefront, and reached out because she noticed that a pair of shoes that she recently purchased is now on sale for $10 less. So the agent here has the Shopify integration installed. And what that means is we also have the Sunshine component enabled as well. And so what that means is when we look at the agent workspace here, we can see all of the normal details of a Zendesk user profile. But with Sunshine customer profiles, we can also toggle into the Shopify profile. And then we get additional information like Amy's a gold member and she spent a lot, in the last 12 months. So this might be a situation where you're like, well, okay, she's a gold member, she spends a lot. Let's treat this with some extra care and let's give her that $10 refund back. What we can also see in the interactions history is Zendesk events like a conversation was started, but we also see external events coming from, in this case, FedEx or Shopify. And we can even toggle into just Shopify events, just fulfillment events, so that your agent has full access to an order was updated, it was packed, it was shipped. You can track a full life cycle of exactly what happened within Shopify, all within the interactions history. And then the sidebar app. This is where the meat of that integration exists. The sidebar app is where you can see all of Amy's recent orders. We can even, if you wanted to, this would require access to Shopify, but you could view more details in Shopify if you really needed to. But in this case, the agent doesn't need to. We can go into the order where we can see this order was fulfilled. We can see that a refund was available. And so if I click view order, I get a little more details about that order, shipping information, tracking number, payment breakdown. And then I can also select refund order. And so if there were multiple things here that Amy had purchased, I would select like 2, 3, however many things we might be refunding an order for. But in this case, it's just one. I can even restock the item. And since really Amy just wants a $10 refund back, I could have chosen a full refund, but in this case, I'm going to choose a manual refund of $10. And then so that all of this is always tracked, not only within the sidebar app in Zendesk, but also Shopify, I'm going to add a note for the refund. Shoes were on sale for $10. Amy is a VIP. Review refunds. Make sure that a notification will be sent to the customer. Confirm. Done. And then this will all be fully processed within Shopify in however you set up your rules for refunds and cancellations within Shopify. You can see that everything was updated within the sidebar app, that this item was refunded. And we can also see this tag right here that was just added. that says that, there was a Shopify refund applied. And so this is what I can now report on in Explore. Now let's take a quick look at the agent experience so I can show you, or the admin experience, sorry. So let me show you where, you would enable refunds and cancellations. So within your integration section of the admin panel, select View Shopify, go into Configure, and then go into your, this is the sidebar app for support. And this is where you can either allow refunds and cancellations or not, just as simple as that. And this is also where you would enable the web widget on your site. So it really is as simple as those clicks. And then same with Sunshine. This is where you can enable Sunshine profiles and events, and you can choose the type of events that you want to stream into the interactions history.
Jessica, real quick, we do have a question from one of the attendees. Ben asks, can we have multiple Shopify store integrations on one account, or do they and do they have to be different brands?
So you can enable as many store up to, I believe the limit is around 50. We haven't really seen customers go above 5 or 6, but yes, you can enable multiple storefronts within one integration. The reason that the Sunshine portion of the integration is currently an EAP is because it only supports one storefront. And so, but the actual sidebar app supports multiple. Once later in Q3, we support multiple storefronts with the Sunshine portion. That's when that will be GA.
Awesome. And then one more question. Does Sunshine profile and events require a subscription upgrade?
So the requirements, let me just quickly go here. For access to the EAP, it does not. This is available to anyone. But for once it is generally available later in Q3, it still is available in all of our new Zendesk Suite plans. But if you're on a legacy plan, it would require Support Enterprise for the Sunshine component.
Perfect.
Great. Well, that's my demo. Any questions or things that anyone wants to talk about?
Well, that was fantastic, by the way. And I don't think we have any current questions right now, but if anyone does have any questions on what we've gone ahead and covered, now is the time to go ahead and ask them. Jessica, again, thanks so much for coming out and talking to us. I can see why the Shopify integration, it's a pretty powerful tool, especially as somebody who's been, I think, on the receiving end of it. I'm like, oh, I can see why the agent experience that they can bestow upon your customers can be so much improved by just simple little bits of information, especially little details like how much they spent and what kind of membership they are, things like that. Oh, we do have a question. So Kaylee, more on the web widget, please. We would love to talk more on the web widget. Is there anything else we can share on that, Jessica? No, and it's okay if you joined late. We will, again, have a full recording of this whole event. So if you missed anything, if the dog jumped on your lap and we got you covered, you'll be able to watch it where you registered for this event in the events page in the community and in articles within the Help Center.
Yeah, so with the web widget, some of the resources that we'll link everyone to includes a getting started guide. So it'll walk you through how to enable the web widget, but really it's once you install the integration, you can manage and enable with a checkbox, just enable it on your storefront, or you can, you don't have to use it. But what's great is that it really is just that click to get it working on any of your storefronts. And then you can have that branded messaging experience. Now, one thing I do want to call out is the branded experience will go with your default storefront. So if you do have multiple storefronts, the branding will match what your default is. So at the moment, we can't have unique branding per storefront, but it is at least something that's very easy to manage.
Awesome. We do have another question. On the web widget too, is there a web iframe contact form available, or just the pop-up widget?
Let me verify that with our product lead, because I want to make sure that we're using the most up-to-date SDK that should be available. But let me just validate that.
Perfect. And I don't see any other questions.
Great. Well, some of the other links we'll have are if you really need something more custom than what our out-of-the-box integration offers, we do have various partners that have more custom, advanced functionalities, and so we'll be sure to share those out. But always reach out if you need a recommendation. I need to do this. Maybe it's something we can accommodate within our out-of-the-box integration, or maybe it's something where we can recommend the best partner for you.
Great. Well, we do have a few more questions coming in. By the way, everybody, we are done with the presentation and demo of the event. So this whole section right now, until the end of the event, is just for you guys to talk to us, ask questions, get clarifications on things. So please don't hold back. We definitely want to make sure we're addressing all questions that you guys have before the end of the event. Kaylee asks, is there a demo of the web widget on the storefront?
Yeah, so let me quickly pull this up in the admin center. So what I can show you is what I can show you is in the admin center where you actually turn it on. And then, oops. Sorry, I'm moving too quickly. And then let me pull up what this might look like on the storefront itself. So in the actual storefront itself, the web widget would just appear right here, and you can brand like the color right here. You can brand, obviously, this could say Shoo La La, the storefront name or not. In this case, we do have AnswerBot turned on, but you don't need to enable AnswerBot unless you'd like to. But this is really what it looks like. And then you could enable a form if you want to collect information, if like maybe this isn't a live agent. So there's a lot of capabilities that you have within this experience here. And we'll be sure to link to any of the getting started guides that kind of walk you through.
Great. We have a couple more questions. Does the phone number lookup work by searching customer account in Shopify?
Yes. So it would need that phone number would have to be stored in Shopify. But if that is the only identifier we have in Zendesk, then we can match them. Previously, it was only by email address as the identifier, but now we've added phone number as well.
Awesome. And would the sidebar automatically populate the customer account information from Shopify if the phone number matches an existing Shopify customer account?
Yes, exactly. And because we knew that, we knew this was an important feature to add. Sometimes someone just calls in, that's their first interaction with your business. So it's super important that we're surfacing that information, not just from the email address.
Great. Well, if anyone doesn't have any more questions, I believe that's going to be it for us. Again, Jessica, it's really great to have you talk about this. I'm sure these are not the only new things to come with Shopify. So when we have new things come up, just expect us to want you to come back and talk with everyone here about what's taking place. But